I've lost my wife to a mobile game. As you can probably tell from the screenshots, it is very much targeted towards the female demographic.
What does Sydney do then? Like she just sits there and like watches this all day or something?
I will be in bed and she will get a phone call from...
What? She's getting a phone call from another man while in bed with you? All right, welcome back to another episode of Trash Taste. I'm joined once again by the boys, Joey and Garn.
Yay.
And we went on a little trip.
Just a little one.
A little trip.
Just a tiny trip.
Little trip.
You're going to have to wait a long time, so sorry to give you blue balls, but we did film a special. And we went to Switzerland for it.
We went to Switzerland.
Yay.
We filmed a winter special, which we are not going to be talking about, but we thought that, we went to Switzerland. It was such a beautiful country and an amazing experience. We just wanted to talk about that, but we figured you guys would figure out that we filmed a special there anyway. So
yeah, we're not going to beat around the bush.
Yeah. So we just got back from Switzerland. How are you boys feeling? You recovered from your jet lag yet?
Well, look at him, bro. Look at this guy. Look at this dude.
I mean, okay, to preface, I'm not sick. So we got back from Switzerland, and the entire time we were there, because it was so cold, and because we were up in the Alps, right? My lips just got incredibly crusty and dry.
Yeah, that's why some videos I had literally I'm wearing lipstick because my lips get so from how dry it
That's
is.
the only thing I'm not looking forward to this special is just seeing how crusty my lips are every scene. But basically, I got back and it was a combination of that, probably a little bit of windburn, and just lack of sleep. I just got the worst cold sore I've ever got in my life on my lip. So I don't want to show you guys that
I verified
on camera.
You don't want to see it.
It's pretty bad.
I don't want to look at it. You don't want to look at it. Let's all just move on.
I took the mask off and I showed it to Connor and he was just like, "Ew, what's that?" So to save you guys the eyesore, I'm going to keep this on.
Audio only listeners are like, what is he talking about?
Audio only, you don't have to worry about it. If you're watching on YouTube, don't worry about this.
So Joe's being muffled.
Yeah, so my bad.
POV when he's got the bag on.
I've worn a mask these last couple of days for the first time pretty much since COVID ended. And it's still fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I still hate that shit.
Comfortable.
It was never comfortable, especially when you have a beard. It just keeps slipping down and it's really annoying.
Yeah.
But don't worry about that. We're going to talk about Switzerland because it was a fucking awesome time.
This was your first time, right?
It was my first time ever.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go.
I went when I was 15, 16, because we used to go to south of France a lot.
All right.
So it was kind of close.
See, to an Australian, that just sounds like such a flex. It's we just casually just went to the south of France. No biggie,
you could drive 4 countries in 3 hours in Europe easily.
Right. Yeah.
You can't even drive out of Sydney in 3 hours.
I know.
So it's what?
At that age, when you go to Switzerland, if you're not from Switzerland, you can't do anything. It's so goddamn expensive.
It was. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was something I knew and haven't been to Switzerland before, because before I've only been to Geneva, which was a totally different vibe from where we went to.
I've heard they got a great convention there.
Well, Joe, fuck's sake, Joe.
Sorry, I had to.
Fuck's sake. Get your dad jokes out
I
the way,
hate that
Joey.
took me legitimately 4 seconds to understand what you were joking about.
But Switzerland was great. We went to Zurich.
Yep.
We went to Lucerne.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was a beautiful lake. And what was the south part?
Saas-Fee.
That's
I
it.
never knew how it was pronounced. Was it I saw how it was spelled and I was like, Saas-Fee?
Saas-Fee.
Saas-Fee? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound Swiss.
Which is right near Zermatt, if you guys know where that is. It's the big southern Alps. Yeah, on the border. It was beautiful.
Yeah, there are a few places in the world that I've been to where it looks so beautiful that it almost looks like a fucking green screen because of how it almost is so beautiful that it doesn't look real. And Switzerland was one of those places, especially up in the mountains. As someone who never grew up going on skiing, snowboarding trips, I've never seen so many fucking mountaintops in my life. Holy shit. And that is on their backyards as well.
Yeah, it's just mountains.
Yeah.
They just literally just mountain the country.
The one thing that shocked me the most, I think, immediately was there's all these beautiful, especially near Lucerne where it's not snowing, right? Because it's on the sea level. But there's still these beautiful green hills. And it's just such a vibe. It's almost like cottagecore, where it'd just be this empty hill, and there'd just be this one tiny log cabin just sitting there in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like,
think who's building these?
Who looked at this giant empty hill and was like, I'm gonna live right there, right in the middle of there.
Yeah, there were a lot of those, and they look really cool. But then I think about having like the logistics of like living there.
Yeah,
because some of these cottages are in the middle of this, and it's not like a tiny hill. It is like a steep mountain a lot of the
it's
times.
Like several thousand meter tall like mountains.
I'm like, how the fuck do these people get anywhere? How do people go?
Shopping?
How do they go shopping, man?
Yeah, so we worked with a Swiss production company, which is really interesting as well, because we got to talk to a bunch of Swiss people for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I asked the same question. I was like, how the fuck do these people get up there and then get stuff up there? Because there's no roads.
Yeah.
And even if you're like a hiking boss, like there's only so much you can reasonably bring up. And they were telling me that apparently, again, this must be like a too much money kind of problem.
Yeah.
They just helicopter. Everyone helicopters.
Because everyone just has a personal helicopter?
No. Apparently, because obviously in Switzerland, it's mandatory services required. It seemed like, again, when we asked the crew this, it's like 20 people. We were like, who's done mandatory service? And like 3 of them had done it. So it doesn't sound that mandatory. It's like there's a lot of ways for it not to be mandatory.
Yeah.
But they have mandatory service in their military, obviously, because of Switzerland's history of being neutral.
Yeah.
Neutral in terms of attacking and defending, very much not so
no,
neutral.
I heard some stories from like the Swiss natives, and they were like, sometimes our bridges are designed to be blown up, and we have probably it's those cottages.
Well, they have like the most bunkers, I think, in the world as well. Like,
really?
They've been like an insane amount of mountainside bunkers that were built during the war.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense. I don't know if they have the most, but they have an absurd amount of bunkers.
Yeah,
everything can be destroyed.
Yeah, everything can be destroyed. And I was talking to one of the guys there. They were saying
374,000 bunkers and likely more.
Oh, it's Johnny Harris, so it could be made it the fuck up. Okay, 360,000. The Rio type.
Yeah. And there was something like some of the cottages could easily be like, secret like weapons caches or something along the lines, or bunkers. And I'm like,
that's where the Swiss banks are.
The more you like talk to Swiss people, the more you realize they're like the Texans of Europe. Because they all have guns.
Yeah.
They all talk about like freedom.
Yeah.
And like independence.
Yeah.
And like claiming what's yours and having the right to it. Except it's got like a very European twist to it. Instead of having a processed burger, you get a nice slice of cheese and some chocolate.
I've never seen a group of people, as you said, so aggressively chill.
Yeah,
because it's like you have the same kind of like things that Texans love, but they're just so fucking chill about it, and they will do anything to protect that chillness. Apparently, they will blow up their own country before someone invades their chill. Which I got to respect.
And they were constantly willing to tell us the history of Switzerland, which was really interesting as well. Because I don't actually know a whole lot about Switzerland.
It's
one of the countries that I think you don't hear a lot about on purpose. I think that's what they like it. They're like,
I mean, before we went to Switzerland, the only like 3 things I kind of really knew about Switzerland was just like the cheese, obviously, the watches, and the banks.
Yeah,
and it's like anything else, I'm
chocolates.
just like, and the chocolates. And it's like, other than that, I'm like, I don't know anything about anything in this country. I'm like, what language do you speak? 5 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah, you kind of realize, and kind of knew going into it that if you're just born in Switzerland, you just get a spawn advantage.
Yeah.
Because you are born with like 4 languages basically that you can speak.
It is probably like the most OP place to be born.
Yeah.
In terms of like life advantage.
Right.
It's pretty crazy. And like the money, I just assume everywhere that isn't the UK and Europe uses euros. So ignorantly, unlike these filthy European countries, let them use their funny, weird euro money. And then we get there and it's like CHF. I'm like, all right, I don't know what the fuck this is. And I am not going to look up how much things, like the conversion rate. I'm not learning another conversion rate. I'm done.
Swiss franc.
So when I'm buying a coffee, I'm like, damn, it's cheap. Only like €5. And it's like, nah, it's like actually like £7. And I'm like, oh, okay, shit, that's expensive, this coffee.
I think the Swiss franc, from the last I saw, I might be completely wrong
close
on this.
to the dollar, right?
It's 160 something yen to the dollar, to the Swiss franc. I believe.
Okay. I mean,
I know.
What's crazy is that my Japanese yen knowledge is only applicable to the dollar.
Yeah.
I don't know the yen's relative strength to anything else.
168 yen, and that's gone down.
What's the franc to the dollar? That's what. Even though I'm British, I do everything to the dollar.
to the US dollar. I think it's
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 almost
pretty
like
close,
it's
yeah.
almost like 1-to-1, which is what I realized.
$1.10
Actually,
US
yeah.
franc.
Yeah, so everything was ridiculously expensive.
So
It was.
expensive.
It was.
Far out.
And now I kind of realize, now that you mentioned that, I think I've been to more European countries that don't use the euro than do. Because on like the Euro trip that we went to, I think most places had their own currency.
Yeah, but I think like
Yeah, but it
for
wasn't like the
example-
main currency, right?
Yeah, no, it is. So for the Swiss krona.
The Swiss
Yeah,
krona.
yeah,
From
yeah.
what I understand, it is tied to the euro.
What does that mean? Like the fucking Scottish pound,
No,
which is
so it like fluctuates. So if the euro
The
goes
fuck's
down,
a
it's like
Scottish pound?
it's the pound, but it's Scottish, and it's
Yeah.
Is that not the
it's
same?
different.
It's-
This
it's-
is different. That's actually the pound.
yeah, that's actually the pound,
Oh.
but it's called the Scottish pound. And there's different notes.
So like the Swiss currency value is like 1-to-1, like not 1-to-1, but like if it's 20 and the euro is 1, if it fluctuates, it goes up and down accordingly. They're tied. So do you want to? Can you Google this to show it, Kai?
I did not understand that at all.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of weird.
if-
I think it's a way where countries like to have like, hey, this is our currency,
Right.
but it is still completely like reliant
No,
on
Sweden.
the euro. Sorry, yes, yeah, so,
The Swede krona.
type in like Swedish krona,
Swedish krona.
tied to euro.
Sweden does not currently use the euro as its currency and has no plans to replace the existing Swedish krona in the future. So they don't use euro.
Okay.
Wait, which one of the countries does this?
Is it Danish?
Danish?
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I remember.
On this episode of I
Factually
Made It the
incorrect.
Fuck Up on
No, I
Trash
swear.
Taste.
Yeah, is SEK pegged to euro? Scroll down. That's that one. Not just in German.
Man, all of this is just
Wait,
like-
Yeah.
is it the Danish? No, it's the Danish one. Wait, that's what Hart told me.
Which is also called the krona, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the Danish currency?
okay.
Krone. It's the
Krone.
krone.
Okay.
Krone.
So it's
Oh
the
my
Swedish
god.
krona
Okay.
and the Danish krone.
Okay, I'm fucking stupid. It was Denmark, not Sweden.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Sweden. I know
Yeah.
you don't like being confused with
You
Denmark.
have just declared war on all of Sweden with
Yeah,
that.
so like this currency is like required to stay within a range.
Right.
Right.
So I don't understand the benefit of doing this because I'm not smart enough for that
Yeah.
financially. As I paid $8 for a coffee in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't take any financial advice from me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so answer me this as
Okay.
someone who's not European whatsoever. Can you still use the euro?
No.
No.
So it's only this
it's-
currency.
It's a different currency.
So in Switzerland, you can only use the
yeah.
franc.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same
Yeah.
way you couldn't rock up to Australia with the dollar.
Well, then where do you use the euro?
France,
That's the real question, right, Joe?
France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands.
Oh, so it's selective
Spain.
European countries.
Yeah, it's up to the
Selective
country.
European countries, which is why the UK were like, nah, we're going to do our own thing.
Ireland.
And we're gonna
I
keep
see.
It's like because the UK for the long time, it depends on like what the country does. So like the UK is a very big banking country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they historically had a very strong currency for banking, and they wanted it to be separate from Euro shenanigans.
Right.
And
I imagine like there's a little bit of like elitism in there where they thought like, no, we don't want this filthy
no, there's definitely I
like
mean,
currency.
you know,
We want like our good currency.
I mean, if there
Right.
wasn't any elitism, how did what happened with us in the EU, right?
Yeah.
Let's just not talk about that for a second.
I
But-
mean, not much to talk about. Fucking idiots. That's it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. But you know, back to Switzerland. Met some interesting characters there. It seemed like almost everyone we met there just had an interesting story, which is kind of shows when you're born in Switzerland, surrounded by all of these other countries, you kind of have so many different experiences from so many different cultures just because you're right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, our team was kind of we were like collecting the infinity stones of Europeans because I feel it was like every different nationality was just happened to conglomerate into Sweden. Not Sweden, sorry, Switzerland. Sorry, Sweden. Because like we obviously had like Swiss people, but we had a lot of like French people.
They're basically the same.
Yeah.
Okay, what? Look, I don't know the fucking geopolitical shit of that, all right? But one that was really interesting was the guy that you were talking to up in the ski slopes. Fuck, which country was it again? I don't want to say in case I piss
Oh,
off.
Luxembourg?
Luxembourg.
Oh, Luxembourg.
Yeah, there was a dude from Luxembourg, which is like the first time. It was like kept finding a shiny Pokemon. I was like, whoa, you guys exist?
You found
That's
literally
crazy.
someone who exists from Luxembourg.
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably not that uncommon in that area, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe, but
I don't know.
it was uncommon for me. And I was like, oh, dude, I've always wanted to go to Luxembourg. And he was like, really? Why? And I was like, because like I don't hear about anyone who's been to
I
Luxembourg.
don't think there's a whole lot going on in
Yeah.
Luxembourg.
Yeah, I asked him. I was like, I'm kind of interested to go to Luxembourg to just check it out to see what it's like because I don't know anyone who's been there. So like, as someone from Luxembourg, like, how's Luxembourg? And he's just like, it's okay.
I mean, I think like one of the main cities is like built around a castle,
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
But you can get that in a lot of other European countries too.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Luxembourg except the fact that Luxembourg exists, and now I know. And now I've met
And they
one
always have the
person.
highest GDP or some shit.
something like that. Yeah.
Do they?
They have a really high GDP. But again, I think that's a case of like a lot of people work within Luxembourg.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite.
Wow. Wow.
No, that's great. That's the overall GDP.
Right. Why is Luxembourg
Per
GDP so
capita,
high?
100
Tourism,
yeah.
logistics, and information technology.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool. And I think public transport's free. I think I could be wrong, or it's free to
How big is Luxembourg?
tiny, fucking
Tiny.
tiny.
Yeah, because I thought it was a tiny
I
country.
mean, it's one of those countries where if you're just looking at a map of Europe, you can't see it from a big picture.
Yeah, all public transport is free in
Whoa.
Luxembourg.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I mean, realistically, how far can it take you?
Not very. I think that's because like
The longest train we have is 45
and
minutes.
I could be wrong, but I believe a lot of people within Luxembourg or like who work in Luxembourg don't live in Lux. Like a lot of people commute into Luxembourg.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Again, it's that small that you can, you know.
They can probably like commute to
Yeah.
a different country to work
Yeah.
if you think about it. You know?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think like there's a lot of advantages to being a very tiny country in like positioned around other larger countries where you can kind of selectively make.
I mean, look at it compared to Belgium.
Like
which
Belgium
is
is a
also
very small
tiny
country, yeah.
Yeah, Belgium already a very small country next to Luxembourg, which is fucking that's like a city. You know?
Yeah. Like even like Switzerland is massive in comparison to
Oh my God, yeah.
Luxembourg. Right? So like,
Jesus
I
Christ.
remember we were in the car and we drove from the airport to our first shoot location. And Joey was like, wow, we drove 3 hours and we're half the country away
Yeah, I know.
from where we started. And I'm like, yeah, welcome to Europe,
That
Joey.
shit blows my mind, man. I'm like, damn, like Italy's just like right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
yeah, we went on some train thing, and I thought it was gonna be like the Eurotunnel where because the Eurotunnel is really cool. You like drive into a train, and then it closes on you.
Yeah.
'cause you're going through a tunnel.
Yeah.
But we went on like a train that was kind of like just like a platform with like one rail, and then you just fucking go.
It was
There's
like one
no
of the,
like roof.
It was
or
like one of those like
casing.
cattle trains.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
sick, and then you just go through this tunnel, and then it's awesome. You can see it all.
Yeah, I remember there was a sign. You like drive into like what looks like something they drive cattle into.
Yeah.
And on the side, I just saw this sign which was like, "Whatever you do not open the door." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay."
I was very surprised because when I heard the train, I thought the exact same thing as Connor. But when we got on the train, they were like, wow, if I just open my door now, I could literally just jump off this train.
Yeah.
There is nothing stopping me from
Just death.
Just death
Yeah.
right there. And if one of the cars behind me just forgot to put the parking gear on, then we're fucked.
If this was in like Florida, it would be shut down within a month.
Yeah.
You would hear like
We shut down within a day.
all kinds of headlines.
Yeah.
Florida man starts car on train.
But what it also made me realize was, oh, this is what Elon Musk tried to invent, which was already invented by the Europeans like last century.
Yeah, and it's actually like good and
And it actually works and
Yeah.
it's good. And I'm like, what the fuck? Of course everyone was clowning on him.
This episode is sponsored by Shopify.
Boys, I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling a little nervous here.
What's wrong?
You have a clothing brand and you also have your own merch as
I do
well.
have my own
I'm
merch.
the only person here who doesn't sell their own merch.
What?
Where do I start? What do I do? How do I do it?
Well, Garn, Shopify is for you. Ain't no way! Because, Garn, nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%.
Damn,
Meaning
50%?
way less cards going abandoned and way more sales going Cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are, scrolling or strolling on the web, in the store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify.
So what are you waiting for, boys? Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that we at Nonsense use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/trash, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/trash to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/trash.
Back to the episode.
I mean, going on the fucking Vegas Hyperloop when I was there, I was like, this has got to be the worst fucking tunnel of all time. Just terrible. I'm moving people. I'm pretty sure the fucking Great Escape Tunnel was more efficient at moving people.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously shit, and it was not cool. It was kind of sad watching a guy drive through a tunnel. And I remember I asked the guy, I was like, do you like doing this? Because you're just driving through a tunnel. And he goes, yeah, no traffic. And I was like, that's fucking sad. It was mind-numbing. This guy was going in a loop. He was doing baby park, but IRL with passengers drunk in Vegas. It's the worst thing ever.
Not even allowed to drift.
Could you imagine baby park where you can't drift and you have to drive good? That sounds awful.
You have to drive without hitting any other cars.
Yeah.
There's no
items.
You're not racing. You're not racing. You're not racing. There's no items.
Yeah.
You can't drift. You have to just go in an orderly line around Baby Park. Mario is shit.
Yeah, just turn your brain off.
Maybe
Put on podcast or something, right?
Meanwhile, every Yamanote driver.
I think that's the worst part about that kind of job is that not only is it mind numbing, you don't even get to you can't even double dip. You can't play some games on the other monitor. You just have to sit there and drive through this tunnel.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you never had a taxi driver do that before? I've literally had a taxi driver in Japan. This is when the Olympics were on. He was just had the fucking he was just watching the Olympics. He had a TV screen where I think it was the Japanese volleyball or something like that just on. And into in between stops, he would just watch it. And
I respect that. Fucking go for it, bro.
Didn't ask if it was okay. He would just he just had it on, and he just watch it during stops. And I was like, am I going to say something? Probably not. Is this the safest thing in the world? Probably not.
Probably not.
But he's vibing. He's vibing.
At least he's only just doing it at the traffic stop,
Yeah.
He's not just like this,
It's definitely not good, but hey, look, if he's driving fine, he's paying attention, I don't mind. But it's I think that's mind numbing. Anyway, it's shit, but the tunnel in Switzerland, very cool.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
How do you feel about when Uber drivers pick up the phone?
I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest.
I've heard some weird ass conversations that I probably shouldn't be hearing.
Yeah.
Via Uber driver.
I don't really care that much. I feel like it's polite to be like, hey man, is it okay if I fucking blast the speaker right now and talk to someone?
Yeah.
But
the one that confuses me are the ones where it's you go into the Uber and the dude already has an AirPod in or something.
He's already fucking
and he's
chatting.
already mid-conversation. But you don't know that because you don't hear the other end of the call. So you just hear him talking to himself, and I'm like, are you talking to me? Or oh, you're on the phone. Okay. Great. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for letting me know.
Headphones, it's all right, as long as he hasn't got both in, because you might, I think driving with two earphones in is kind of dangerous.
That's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
And
probably illegal.
Yeah, very illegal.
Maybe, is it actually illegal? I wonder.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
I mean, you'd definitely be prone to accidents.
I would assume so because you are literally taking away one of your senses.
I'd rather him put one earpiece in than fucking blast it on speakers, which is the most annoying fucking thing. Because for some reason, when I take a call on the speaker in the car, I feel like the volume I put it at is 1,500 decibels lower than what my Uber driver does. He puts it fucking speaker crunching loudness, the
subwoofer is just
I'm like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah,
it's illegal in many states.
Okay, yeah.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's just, I'm like, whatever. It depends, because sometimes I'm like, when you're in it and you're it's like a 30 fucking minute phone call, you're like, dude, come on, this must dude, come on, dude.
I'm like, I don't care about your conversation, man. At least put some AirPods in. I've definitely been in an Uber where I remember one Uber back in Australia where I'm I was kind of it was one of those where he only just had the one AirPod in.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't hear the other side of the conversation, but I was like, oh, okay, he's fucking in a phone call, whatever. I'll just lay back and chill out. But I was kind of hearing it off to the side, and I wasn't getting the full context. But just from what he was saying, I was like, is there a drug deal happening right now? Like this conversation sounds really.
That's what you want to see from the driver.
Yeah, that's what I slowly turned to the driver. I was like, are you buying drugs right now? Like, because he was like, yeah, I'll take the 20. No, that's too expensive. I'm like, what are you purchasing? I'm right here.
I remember I got in one Uber in fucking, I don't know where it fucking was. The phone call starts, right? It's like ringing. And he asked me, he was like, is it okay if I get this? I'm like, yeah, man, sure, whatever. Which I appreciated. Like, I was like, look, I don't give a fuck. I just think it's just polite.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the phone call starts. So he clicks accept, right? And then it's like silent for 5 seconds. And then a robot voice goes and he goes, this is the corrections facility for... And I was like, what? No, I'm not kidding. It goes like, do you wish to incur the charges for the call? And he goes, yes. Start through. It sounds like a fucking cafeteria. It's so fucking loud. And then I can't remember exactly what the conversation was, but it was him basically going like, hey man, I could just really use the cash you promised me right now. I need to be able to get some commissary. Like it was like some conversation, and he was just like, dude, I can't help you out right now. I'm struggling, man. I'm driving Ubers. I can't help you out right now. And then he's like, dude, but we go way back. Like, I don't know what the relation was to this guy. It didn't sound like family. And this is like it was like the weirdest 5-minute Uber call where he's like pleading for this Uber driver to give him money.
Wait, this sounds really familiar. Was I in the car with you?
No, this was a similar one though. We had one in
Australia. We
had one. No, we had one in Tennessee where we had a guy where she was like requesting bail money from the guy. That was a different call. This happened twice. Twice in America. So yeah, we had that one that was bail money. Yeah. This guy wanted money for commissary, and he was asking for like $50.
Wait, what's the bail money one?
Maybe you were in the car, maybe not. There was this guy who was clearly like...
I would remember this conversation.
Okay, so we were in Tennessee, and there was a guy who was a very large guy.
Yeah.
And he sounded quite unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because he sounded like he was coughing up lungs.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, he was mouth breathing for sure.
And he was really chatty though. Like he was really fun. He was really nice. And then he got a phone call and he just took it. And it was a girl who was trying to get bail money.
That's right.
To get out of prison. Or jail, sorry.
Oh my God.
And she was asking for like $1,000 or something. And I think that was like a sister or cousin or something because they were related. I remember this conversation. And he was just like, I can't give you the money. Stop asking me. And she's like, you gotta help me. We're family. You have to help me. I can't be stuck in here. And he's like, I don't want to give you the money. And he's like, I don't have the money. Like it was a whole, and I remember the tour staff was like staring at us like, what the fuck is this conversation?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was a whole conversation.
I remember that so vividly.
America, I would remember that.
Yeah, America is wild.
Yeah.
He did it so casually as well. Like it's a full fucking Uber.
That is the most like GTA conversation I've ever heard in my life.
It's just like how do I even begin to explain the cultural differences to a Japanese person of why a person in America would feel this is okay to like have this conversation in the taxi.
Yeah.
Like I think it would break a Japanese person's brain to be like,
it's like, nah, you're making it up.
Like they'd be like, nah, so explain the backstory of what's going on here and like culturally why it's cool to have this.
Yeah.
Like it's just so far removed like from any semblance of like a shared cultural norm where you could explain what is happening in this taxi drive. It's like it's ridiculous.
It's the freedom. It's
the fucking freedom.
Literally, you go to America some places and you realize that GTA is based on real life.
Yeah, they realize they have free will.
It is not a satire sometimes. Yeah. It is a documentary.
But we did meet a gentleman who I can only refer to as Swiss Pete. He's literally Pete if he was born in Switzerland.
He's a fucking goat, dude.
Yeah, sometimes you meet someone and you're like, You know, some people I feel have too much life experience,
Yeah.
and this person was one of those people.
He was like the head of our production crew.
Shout
Yeah.
out to the motherfucking boy Mario.
He was so
That's his
funny.
actual name, by the way.
Yeah, how did he start off like our very first conversation together? Because I remember him coming up to like Joey or something.
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, do you know the joke? It's a me, Mario."
Yeah.
I forgot what he.
No, so he was talking to us, and before this, we kind of met him once, and he was really energetic,
Yeah.
really funny, but didn't really like. Didn't really know.
Just like kind of starting to like warm up to us. And then
Yeah.
when he realized that, we were pretty cool and, we just wanted to like
Yeah, we're
chat
pretty
or
cool.
whatever.
Yeah, we're pretty cool.
And, he was like, oh, okay, well, we can talk to you and just chat. Yeah, he just came and when he found out that I could speak Japanese, he was like, oh, yeah. Do you know, you're Japanese, right, Joey? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. Do you know the joke? It's me, Mario. And I was like, I guess like the Nintendo character. And he's like, yeah, but there's like it's a joke. It's a me is like super in Japanese. and I just slowly turned to Gon. I was like, it's not. He's definitely saying it's a me. Like me. And he was like, no. It's like, I can check for you. And he pulled his phone out and he typed it in on Google. He's like, it's a me.
trying to fact check a Japanese person.
Yeah, trying to fact check, right?
Yeah.
The first thing that comes up was like the Google like automated answer. It was like the "It's a me Mario" referring to Super Mario joke is completely false. And he just looks so dejected.
He said it so innocently though.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah, he was very cute. And then we were going to this other shoot, and he was talking to me, and these mountains are crazy high. They're like 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters, 4,000 meters, tall mountains. and we're passing by this mountain, and he points at it and he goes, "Oh yeah, I remember when I went up this mountain, but it was dark and cold." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I went hiking in the mountains at like midnight." I was like, "Why would you do that?" And he was like, "Oh, it was storm too."
Yeah, it was a thunderstorm.
Thunderstorm. I was like, "What?" I was like, "But why would you do that?" He's like, "Well, me and my friend, we had a few drinks. We thought it was a good time to go up the mountain." And I'm like, "What? Did you have anything? Like, did you prepare?" He's like, "No, it's okay. We just go to the nearest hut and we talk to the people in the hut and it's chill.
Yeah.
We drink the drink and then keep hiking." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Wait, so you decided to go hiking at midnight?" And I was like, "Is this summer, winter? When is this?" He's like, "Oh, it's like spring." So he goes at midnight, hiking up a 2,000 meter mountain with a friend with nothing, and then just chilling and randomly going into a cabin and making friends with the owners who live there.
Yeah.
And then just chilling. And then he's like, "Yeah, it's so cool. We met like a sheep." I was like, "What?" And he puts a picture of his phone, and it's like a herd of sheep in pitch black.
So all you see is like this sea of red lights.
And like the reflective eyes of the sheep.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I'm like, okay. And I
Looks
was
like a horror movie from Wales.
Yeah, I was like, was it fun? Like, why did you do it? He's like, it's like memories. You get to remember these things.
I'm like,
I was-
Mario, you just played hardcore Minecraft without items.
Yeah. And then like another time he was talking to us and he's explaining about, oh God, it was so funny. Everything about it was so fucking funny. He's like, his like friend was depressed. He's like, "Yeah, I thought it was a good idea to, we go mountains and we hike. She's a little depressed, so maybe going up mountain will fix depression, I was like, "Okay, yeah, I mean, get out there, do it."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, but I kind of forgot to pack." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I just kind of grabbed the bag I have." I was like, "Oh, okay." So he's like, "When we get to top of mountain, I realized I didn't pack sleeping bag." I was like, "What? It's a pretty like big thing. How do you forget to bring that?" He's like, "Yeah, no, I think it made her depression worse." I was like,
Was that the one where he was like, "Yeah, I almost died"?
Yeah. I was like, "So like, how did you sleep?" He's like, "Yeah, so I gave her coats. She makes a sleeping bag, and then I just kind of shiver." I was like, what? This guy's just so strange. He would just explain all of these bizarre hikes that he would do and near-death experiences so casually and
in the most
charming.
positive, charming like way you could possibly do. Like this other time, he was like talking about his friends because he was talking about like the dangers of the mountain. He was talking about his friend who would just love to go hiking and love to go hiking. And I remember we got to this one area where we got to like the mountains, and he was like, "Yeah, my friend used to go hiking up there, and he froze to death."
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, it was so.
It was just obviously it's not funny, but just
the way he delivered it was funny. It was something along the lines. He goes, "Yeah, my friend, he got really cold up there and froze to death." He's like, I didn't know that could happen. I was like, what?
I've never done a double take so hard in my life. I was like, what?
I was like, this is like all three of us were in the car being like, what did you just say?
Yeah, it was kind of like a what?
He would just do that so often. Like I remember, like this was way after like he told us all those stories about like the climbing up every mountain in fucking Switzerland. He was talking about Thailand to Gone at this bar. And he was like, oh yeah, I really like XYZ section. Like he was referencing quite like niche parts of like Bangkok. And then God, obviously was like, oh wow, like you seem to know a lot about Thailand. Have you gone before? And just out of nowhere, he was like, yeah, I studied Muay Thai for 2 years in Thailand. Carl was just like, what? Like, when the fuck did you do this? I was like, yeah, I just went to Thailand and my friend wanted to learn Muay Thai, so I went with him, and then I ended up staying for 2 years.
This man has done like every single side quest.
What haven't you done?
Like if we like in this like 4-hour car trip, we'd be talking about like the most random things, and then we'd ask Mario what he thinks about it, and he would just like he could pull a story out of like any fucking experience.
He's the kind of guy that just made friends with every single living person he came across. Like he would befriend them.
He is like the most pure human being imaginable.
Like I remember that time when I forgot we were talking about like sea fishing or something, or we were talking about fishing. And we were like, Mario, have you been fishing? He was like, oh, let me think. Yeah, I've been fishing in Zanzibar. Actually. I was like, what? Wait. This is not the answer I would be expecting. I was like, there are so many layers to this. How did you find yourself in Zanzibar fishing? And I was like, what?
It's like, yeah, I just had a friend in Zanzibar and he invited me to go fishing. I was like, okay. This man is DTF for everything.
Yeah. It's insane. And every restaurant we went to, he seemingly knew every single person at the restaurants.
Yeah.
And then he would always be like, yeah, we're good friends. Not best friends, but good friends.
Well, that's not from conversation with you, right?
Yeah. So it was a conversation, like, I met up with Mario, like, a little bit before these guys. And he was just like, Joey, I need to, like, ask you a second opinion on something. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, I have a friend. He's not my best friend. But I'm like, he's a good friend? He's like, good friend, yeah. And he just randomly I haven't talked to him in about 5 years. And he just randomly messaged me on WhatsApp asking for 500 francs to borrow. And I was like, okay, that sounds a little bit sus. And he's like, yeah, but I might give it to him. And I'm like, Mario, you just prefaced this story by saying he's not even like your best friend. He's like a friend you haven't talked to in years. And he's like, yeah, but you never know. A good thing might come back.
Oh, he's so pure.
He's so nice.
He's so pure.
And I was like, look, man, it's you're an adult. If you think it's a good idea, then you should do it. And he was like, I'm going to do it. And he just did it on the spot. And he just texted me this morning. He texted me this morning, actually, about that exact thing. Let me see if I can bring it up. He said, good thing I trusted that gut. Guy just refunded me that money.
To be honest, I mean, I don't know the whole context, but if a guy just straight up asks you for $500 off rip, it's kind of sketchy.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he's a teacher. He's been a teacher for years, and I've known him since university, and he has like 3 kids. And he's asking, and I'm like, what? Then why is he asking for? Like, what does he need the money for? And he's like, I don't know, but I'm just going to give it to him.
Oh,
And I'm like, you're way too nice, man.
we need more people like Mario
Yeah.
in the world.
Oh yeah, and then this is before, during the day, he had gone to the hospital because apparently throughout this whole shoot that we did for the special, which was like, quite, physically intensive even for the staff, apparently the entire time he had a hairline fracture in his hand and a broken rib. And I'm like, Mario, you've had 2 broken bones this whole thing. You didn't go to the hospital? And he's like, I mean, I should have, but I wanted to come to this instead. You were carrying around all this heavy shit with a broken hand, and you're just like, yeah, no biggie. I'll just come along because it seems fun.
Oh my god,
Mario, you're a fucking treasure.
Needless to say, Mario, if you're ever in Japan, we'd love to hear more stories from you.
Yeah, we love
the most out of pocket thing he came out with, I think by far from what I heard, was that we were walking and then he like points to a building and he goes, "Oh yeah, I used to squat in that building." I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm sorry, what, Mario? Because he literally 2 minutes ago was telling us about his apartment.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait. I was like, how long ago did you squat this? He's like, like 10 years ago. I was like, okay. I was like, why did you squat it? Did you not have an apartment? He's like, no, I had an apartment. I was like, so
why'd you do it?
Yeah, why'd you squat? He's like, to send a message. I was like, he's like, these rich people, they're trying to, how do you say, gentrify Zurich, and we want to make sure they know not to do this. And I was like, okay. I was like, wasn't it like a lot or like uncomfortable? He's like, no, it was really fun actually. He's like, we made a lot of money. I was like, you made a lot of money? You made a lot of money from squatting? How? He's like, yeah, it's awesome. We used to throw parties in there and like have drinks and then charge for entry. I was like, what? This is like the most European thing I've ever heard in my life. Squatting a building and opening up a club in the squatted building.
That is metal as fuck,
and then he on the story goes on, because I'm like, I'm asking 1,000,001 questions. I'm like, this is so fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
Why would you? I'm trying to learn more about him and what drives him to do this. And I was like, okay, so I was like, that sounds hard to like manage the money if you're squatting, right? Because presumably it's just a bunch of random people coming and going. Yeah. I can't imagine that everyone felt like wanted to do the same thing with money that you guys are making. Was it like a fucking gang operation? Like, what's going on here? And he's like, yeah, so in the end we decided just to throw the money outside the window. I was like, what? I don't know if this is like Googleable, but he was like, yeah, it was a big deal. We threw like 10,000 Swiss krona out the window one day and just told people to come get it. And it's the most insane story.
It's the most like V for Vendetta shit.
I was like, wait, so you just got all the money that you made from this, no one touched it, no one took any, you all just threw it out the window? He's like, yeah, we just took it and put it out the window.
Oh my god. Yeah. He is the guy that you will just be hanging about and you will hear the most out-of-pocket things just randomly.
He just says it so casually with this giant smile on his
Could
face.
have all been bullshit, but I believed him.
I did as well.
The way he was telling the stories is so earnest.
I'm like, this. You couldn't have made this shit up. Like, it sounds too bizarre to have been made up.
Some of the shit was way too detailed and way too bizarre.
Yeah.
What an interesting man.
Love that man.
What an absolutely interesting man. Other than that, though, I mean, we didn't spend too much time in Switzerland. We only spent like 3 days. Did manage to get some souvenirs though.
Yep. Lots of Swiss chocolate.
Yeah, lots of Swiss chocolates. We went watch shopping as well, which we didn't intend to, but I think halfway through we were like, this seems like a good idea. I did not know how deep the watch rabbit hole went. I had an idea.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Oh, it gets very deep.
Yeah, because I knew about obviously like Rolexes and Seiko, the Japanese brands. I didn't know how many brands there were that sold like fucking expensive as shit watches.
Most of them.
Most.
Okay, so someone who actually worked in the watch industry, I spoke to them a while back, and they were explaining to me like how like the whole market works. Yeah, and basically they were like, watches are generally the only jewelry that men will wear.
Yeah, that's true.
That is like and are willing to spend on, because jewelry is often not a market that men will spend money on.
True.
But it's one of the only markets that jewelry, which is this insane stuff that you can spend a ton of money on, that men will wear. So when you think of it like that, it starts to make a whole lot more sense. And because jewelry just gets expensive for expensive sake, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But there's a lot more to it than that. When we were there, we were buying a watch. I like looked on Reddit. I was like, "Is this a good watch or whatever?" Like, so I didn't want to scam myself. And then ever since then, my Reddit has just been watch recommendations, like watch subreddit recommendations. Some of it is very sad. Some of it's helpful. A lot of it's very sad.
I will tell you which one of our mates is super deep into the watch rabbit hole.
Okay.
Kevin is.
Okay.
I didn't realize this.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't realize this because I think we had like a meeting, like a dinner or something when Kevin was here, and Dededede was there as well. And Kevin offhandedly mentions this watch that he's getting. And I think at the time Dededede was looking to get a watch, something like that, just something cheap and cheerful. So after the party, he messages Kevin, and Dededede told me that Kevin gave him like a full, like almost like hour-long call.
Kevin gave me a bunch of stuff about this. Actually, I remember now.
Yeah. He was just like, apparently Dededede was asking like a casual question, and Kevin just gave him the entire encyclopedia. He was just like in an hour-long call, being like, "What kind of watch do you want? What style?
Wow.
All right, we're gonna find you the perfect watch." And then I'm hearing the story. I'm like, damn, how fucking deep does this go? How like what kind of rabbit hole are we going into with watches? Because I know nothing about watches.
I mean, we saw kind of just like the tip of the iceberg, just going down that one road in Zurich, which is apparently like the watch road, I guess.
What makes a good watch? What makes an expensive watch?
Hausbahnhof or something?
Yeah, Hausbahnhof, something like that.
Sometimes you like some of the watches we saw, which were upwards from fucking $10,000 to
I mean, there are a couple I saw which are like in 6-figure range.
Yeah, like 100,000
like,
like the
Jesus.
high range. I'm like, what makes an expensive watch?
I mean, there's like crazy markups on the watches.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they just put shit in it, like diamonds or gold encrusted.
Yeah.
Like, I'll buy it. But I feel like they look ugly. Am I crazy?
Some of the watches where you have like
They're so
too many
fucking
things,
big.
too many things going on there.
Yeah.
It's like you are trying to tell time in like every time zone in the universe.
But
almost.
it's crazy how like because they are again the only jewelry that men will wear, they've kind of become like this alpha male symbol of like your wealth, like the wealth you can wear.
I guess so.
And I think like I don't know if you've heard about this, but Rolex now, most stores won't let you walk in and buy a watch.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You have to go on a wait list.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It's kind of like cars,
Yeah.
Oh.
And like normally some people will be on the wait list forever. And like I saw this subreddit because I've been because I guess because I googled this one Reddit question about watches, I've now been inundated with Reddit watches. And I've got to say, there is no bigger copium that I've consistently read in my life than the Rolex subreddit. It is like people.
It sounds just as bad as I can
it's
imagine.
like there'll be like a dude who'd be like, "I finally got the call," and then like, dude, that's what they. And they'll show pictures of their watch, and like, the comments will be like, "Yeah, I didn't really want this watch, but I got the call, so I had to get it."
What?
And then they'll be like, "Dude," and then all the comments like, "Congrats, man! Congrats to you on the Rolex." And there was one where like there was like, "Yeah, my wife's gonna be pissed, but I finally got the Rolex." And then it was like it's clearly like a bunch of older gentlemen, because then there'll be replies being like, actually your marriage should be happy and you should not be buying purchases if your wife isn't. And then another one was like, I like to buy my wife an expensive piece of jewelry, then buy the watch. It's
Just to level it out.
But there was one post where this guy was like, finally got my Rolex, and on the table he'd like strategically placed like a platinum Amex gold, his like Porsche car keys. It's like the saddest shit ever. Like it's like a desperate plea of, please notice my wealth. I have money. Please notice me.
The lengths men will go to not go to therapy, man. Is,
Genuinely,
insane.
dude.
Yeah.
The watch subreddit, it was genuinely just felt like therapy for dudes. Like to talk to other dudes and to be like, we're rich, right? We're doing well, right?
Yeah, we're cool.
I'm successful. You're successful. It was very weird. It was very
kind of very, very reminiscent to like the cryptocurrency like community and all that kind of thing.
I do think there is definitely an overlap.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because I do think that some of these watches are beautiful art pieces.
Yeah.
And I think that they absolutely should have value and retain it. But I think again, it's like NFTs. It's like it's half what the product is, but mostly the fact that the people who are in it kind of make it feel like
Little icky.
a little icky. You know? And so it's. I feel like it's often hard to want to get into it.
Yeah.
Sure.
God, did you hear about the like this insane story of like the cult that started? Who was the guy that predicted the GameStop stock thing?
Ron Kitty.
Ron Kitty. Was he the guy? So I think he bought like shares of like, was it like Bath and Body Works or something like that?
No, he had done GameStop, but then a lot of people obviously wanted to find the same company again.
Yeah.
And so Bed Bath & Beyond was one of them.
Oh yeah, it was Bed Bath & Beyond. But it was like one person who bought shares of this that literally formed a cult around anything that he did.
Yeah.
And
what?
Wait, let me
I don't know anything about this.
let me do a quick Google search while I'm going to the toilet because it's like super.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about because I think I watched the video on it.
You figure it out?
Yeah. Ryan Cohen.
Oh, the guy who made the pet online store thing and then bought a majority stake or a lot of stakes in GameStop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like obsessed with him.
Yeah.
But
who is this guy?
he's just like a mid CEO. He's not really done a whole lot.
Okay.
But people seem to think that he's like a magical genius.
being or genius who can turn like a dying business around.
Okay.
So like because of what happened with GameStop, which he was heavily involved in, when that became like a meme thing, people just started following him, and they found out that he became a chairman at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Okay.
And everyone was just like, this is the new GameStop. This is it. And people just started buying stocks of Bed Bath & Beyond, right?
Okay.
Even though it was like a dying company. And they were so invested that they would literally try to like decrypt tweets, or they would try to like decrypt tweets or anything that he said to differentiate that from just being a normal tweet to Ryan Cohen being like, guys, it's gonna happen.
Like
it's
it's
gonna
code-
happen.
like it's code for
yeah,
something?
yeah. Like it's code for something.
Right.
And it got so far that no matter how much the Bed Bath & Beyond stocks dropped and all the signs were pointing towards, hey, this company is going towards bankruptcy, that only made people buy more stocks.
Yeah, they doubled down.
Yeah, they doubled down and they kept buying to the point where this company like announced bankruptcy and the shares are now worthless. People are like, nah, it's the long game. But there are still people who believe that Ryan Cohen will come back and save them from this.
Like he's the fucking second coming of Christ
It
or something.
is. And the most insane thing is, he has not said anything like directly. He has not like promoted this. It is just a cult that has formed around him, like with
What?
no
It's
involvement
just
from him
weird.
himself.
Look, I think there's mental health problems in a lot of places right now, and this is how some people cope.
Like I'm
Yeah.
just reading this like Reddit thing right now. Someone's like, "Why do you think Ryan is sending us coded messages on Twitter? Like he's
they think
fucking
it's like-
Leonardo da Vinci."
They literally think like he tweets messages to them like in like cryptic shit.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
And they can decode it.
Why
Yeah.
are people
But it's
like this?
It's like how you took any paragraph. You could highlight all the letters you wanted to make a message you
yeah.
wanted.
Yeah.
It's just like they want to find meaning in this. It's so weird, and it's just unfortunate because obviously like you can't be very mentally well if you believe this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people lost a lot of money.
Wait, so what does this have to do with Rolexes?
No, just that the whole Rolex kind of community reminds me of
yeah.
like this kind of community
Like-
where it's like a bunch of guys who are
Yeah.
very, very invested in this one thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
You
And,
know.
and I think that like at least with watches, there's some. I don't know if fully like because I don't really look into it much, but
Yeah.
from what I understand, some watches do retain value or increase in value over time.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean Rolexes definitely do.
I know that
Yeah.
whole idea of like a lot of people buy it just as like an investment, you know.
Well, I remember.
But-
do you ever see that tweet that was like, if you're a 20 plus year old male, you need to sell everything you own and get a fucking Rolex. Have you seen this? It's so fucking stupid. They're like,
It sounds stupid.
they're always like, take out a loan and buy a Rolex. Not only will it prove that you're like a Sigma male, you'll also have generational wealth.
Oh my god.
It's so fucking stupid. Yeah. Like there's so many dumb quotes.
What great advice.
It's ridiculous. I don't remember what it was, but yeah.
Yeah.
There was a fucking stupid tweet that got memed on because they were like, you're fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
This
That's
doesn't
so
make any
dumb.
sense. But yeah, I definitely think there is this kind of thing forming around it where it feels like, okay, we're getting a little too weird about it.
Yeah, whenever I hear the word investment or return on investment, I'm like,
It's a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't think you should be buying a watch as like an investment, generally speaking. Like I don't know.
I mean, you can, but
Yeah.
I feel like there are probably better things
Yeah,
or better ways.
You shouldn't make that your entire
You'd
personality.
probably be some kind of watch trader and dealer at that point.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's
Yeah.
just a different job.
Yeah,
You're
sure,
not investing
sure.
at that point. You're just, you're basically a day trader with watches.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're getting to the point where you may as well just take out a fucking bet and start betting on sports or some shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like no different.
But having said that, we did buy watches.
We did. I didn't go crazy though.
We didn't go crazy.
Well, look, to me, I feel like if there's a watch that costs 10 grand, it needs to fucking like trigger something in my core that I'm like, that's special.
Needs to be life changing.
There needs to be something fucking.
Well, you know what? Maybe you got the gateway watch. Connor.
That's
Maybe
what they said.
we're
That's
gonna
what they said.
look
I'll
at
tell you, Chad.
ourselves in
I'm
like
hiding
5 years. And
5 years time is gonna be like, buy a Rolex.
we're with our 10K watches, and we're like,
I got
boys.
a nice watch. It looks nice.
Oh, that's the one, yeah.
That's the one.
That's the one.
I know. I'll tell you what it is because I
all right.
registered my watch.
oh, you did?
You registered it?
It told me to do it for my warranty or some shit. I don't know what
really?
that means. I guess if I break it, knowing me, I will break it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it is good to have it registered, probably.
And
I
how
don't
much
fucking
did
know.
that
Set you back.
set you back?
It was 875 Swiss francs. What is that in normal money?
It's like
Probably about 800 and-
about $900.
No, I think it's like $900 or something.
$900, I think. $957. So just under $1,000.
Oh yeah, okay,
Okay.
$957. It's the fuck. Let me try and get it while you guys talk. Let me see what it is real quick.
So yeah, that is still a lot of money.
Yeah,
you know?
so we went up and down this the watch road or whatever it is,
Yeah.
Watch Valley. And
And
this was one of the first
This
stores
was
we
the
went
cheapest one we could find.
to. Yeah, this is one of
mind
the
you.
first. Yeah,
I'm not trying to say I'm a cheapskate. I didn't go for the cheapest watch.
We didn't go for the cheapest one, but we're just saying this was the cheapest.
this was one of the first stores we walked
By-
into.
by-
We were like, okay, so if it's anything like this, then okay,
Yeah.
we got a lot to choose from. And as the further down the road we went, the more the numbers just kept increasing. We're just like,
It was like a lot where we went into the first store, which was this, and we saw
Yeah.
the prices, which was around this kind of like price range.
yeah,
We're like,
between like
"Oh, that's-
500 to $1,000, maybe.
that's like,
yeah.
oh, that's expensive, but you know, it's for people in our position. I guess it's something we can afford.
Yeah.
We go into the next shop, which is almost like next door. 10 grand watch.
It was, what was it? Fucking Breitling or something?
Breitling, yeah.
Breitling or something.
I don't know what it's called.
I know they had like the fucking Erling Haaland
Bro,
watch.
every single watch was like the size of my face.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I wearing here? Like, this
Yeah.
is massive. And it looks
Yeah.
cool. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I just don't think I need
But
that
you know,
weight.
we knew we were in trouble because we slowly started to come to stores where it was like we looked at the watches and we're like, okay, that's nice. Where's the price
Yeah,
tag?
literally store 3, no price.
Yeah.
It went from 500 to $1,000, 10 grand, no price.
Yeah.
Which
And we're like, all right, I think we've gone too far.
just consistently no prices, and
Yeah,
we're like,
let's
"Ooh."
turn around. I mean, look,
Okay, I got the...
we're on the Breitling website. The first watches we see are like 8,500,
this
7,900.
Canadian
Oh,
dollar. I don't
Canadian
know why it's in
dollar.
Canadian. Weird. I have the Tissot Tremaine des Tourles skeleton. What the fuck? I'm gonna copy paste it to you, Kai. So I got the name, and then you can chuck it up.
I didn't make out a single word you just said.
It's
there.
such a cool looking watch, though.
It's a really nice watch.
I love when you can see the internals.
Yeah, you were really
you
harping
love
on about
I
that.
love seeing the internals.
Yeah,
it
it is
looks
pretty
so
dope.
cool.
It is dope.
Because you just see it moving. That's so sick.
I like something nice and simple with my watches.
I mean, you bought something that was a
I
little bit
bought
different.
something.
God,
so
I wanted to get one too.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get a normal watch, not because I thought I was better, but because Sydney wanted to buy me
black
one
one.
personally. So I was like, I want to give Sydney the opportunity for us to go watch shopping together. But what I did find, which I thought would be a nice souvenir, would be a pocket watch.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And initially, I was like, "Who the fuck uses a pocket watch anymore?" like it's 2025, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, who does use a pocket watch anymore?"
Alphas.
And I was thinking, for a nice little trinket, I've only been to Switzerland like twice in my life. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself.
Yeah.
Will I ever wear this in normal daily use? No. But
when I'm having a Peaky Blinders ass moment, I'm gonna bust that shit out and be the alpha male in the room.
look, when I have to dress up when I'm going to a wedding or something, that pocket watch is gonna go fucking hard.
That's gonna go hard.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, girl, what's the time? It's like, hang on. Click.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
It's cool as
It's going
fuck,
to be a
yeah.
power move when you bring it out.
Yeah, hell
Oh,
yeah.
I hope so. Because literally the first thing, the first thing Sydney said when she saw it was I showed her the watch and she's like, "Oh, it's Full Metal Alchemist," and I'm like, "Fuck's sake, Sydney."
Now you got to engrave on it for it to do that.
I don't even know what that means, but I know the meme. I don't know what relevance it has, but I know the meme.
The fact
Well,
that
that's good
none
that
of
she
us
liked it.
mentioned that while we were there
Yeah.
is like even funnier. We're just like, oh, Peaky Blinders.
Fucking
But,
bar talk.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I love my pocket watch
It's
now.
really cool.
Yeah,
It's really
it's
cool.
sick.
Yeah, I wanted one as well, but I didn't want to get the same one, and the other designs were just kind of
Well, I wanted to get the same one that Gant got, but
Yeah.
then he had one.
yeah.
I was like, I've already buying one. I can't see like.
And the
sorry,
other
yeah.
designs were okay,
Nah, they were
but
lame.
Yeah.
Gone definitely got the coolest one.
Yeah, we saw some ones without the lid, and I'm like, why would you have a pocket watch
Yeah.
without the lid?
Like the case.
The case.
And
The
Gant,
click is the
and
best
Gant got
part.
an automatic one as well, so you don't
Yeah.
need to really like charge it that often.
Yeah, because I'm probably only going to wear it on special occasions.
Of
anyway.
course, yeah.
Because the other ones they were like they were quartz and they were like you have to change the battery every 2 years. I'm like I'm not fucking doing it. I'm
gonna forget.
I'm only going to use this once every 2 years.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on now, be real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that was our trip to Switzerland. Didn't talk too much about the activities we did there because you'll
Save the special.
see it when that special comes out.
Dude, I got to talk about the one. Dude, we got a business class flight, chat. All right, why did I say chat? My
Yeah,
brain is
I know.
broken. Sorry, you guys all paused to like just mourn that.
Yeah, we did.
And so we got a business class flight, which is great. We're being bougie. Dude, the seat, what the fuck is wrong with the seat on the Swiss Airlines? So they have, this is the most first world problem, right? So you can make the bed flat, right?
Yep.
And so make the bed flat. And for some reason, the seat is like inflated. It's like a bean bag. So you're trying to fall asleep and this thing is like pushing you. Imagine like a seat where in the middle there's a giant pocket of air that you can like manipulate to move around the chair. It's the worst thing ever. The engineers who designed this, you need to be able to turn this shit off. I'm trying to sleep and I'm getting like pushed to the side and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, see, I thought I was tripping or something because as I was like leaning back on this chair, like trying to fall asleep, I could feel my back just like start
Or like
to move.
your
I'm
butt
like,
move around.
yeah, my butt move around. I'm like, is this like a massage chair? Like,
Dude,
and I was like looking for the button to like turn it off, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But they keep it on when you lie it flat, so the middle is just inflated. It's the weirdest thing to sleep on.
weird.
So we're like we were strategizing like a fucking boys meeting before. We're like, all right, how are we gonna beat this jet lag on the way back?
Yeah.
Because European to Japanese jet lag is horrible.
Yeah.
Specifically going from Europe to Japan,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really bad. So we were like, how the fuck do we gotta calculate. All right, 4 hours in the sun, we gotta get 6 hours sleep minimum.
Yeah.
Should be able to beat jet lag.
Yeah.
We didn't account the chair was a fucking bouncy castle and that you'd have to fucking roll around and fight with it. I was about to whip out the Swiss Army knife, pop a hole in the bloody thing. I wanted to fucking fall asleep. It was horrible.
I did not fall asleep at all because
Yeah,
of that.
Joey woke up. Joey looked like a corpse.
I binge watched fucking Dead Demons the entire time. I was just like, all right, let's go get the
Fuck
Naruto
yeah.
Express now.
Did you oh dude, that was crazy. I made that gold split as well.
You did.
Oh, yeah.
You did. We found out that apparently you can just run into a Naruto Express and buy the ticket while you're on it.
So
I didn't know you could do that.
okay, well we're getting mismatched with our stories, but just because we're on it right now. When you land in Narita, Dude, it sucks. First of all, I'm sorry if you
Yeah,
ever landed
it
Narita.
does.
I'm sorry to hear that. You have to get the Narita Express or the Ueno Skyline, which is good.
Yeah.
But I think where me and Jerry live, the Express is more convenient.
Yes.
Problem is, it's only every 30 minutes, which is not a big deal, really. But when you've gotten off a 14-hour flight and you just want to get home and you've got a fucking hour plus
It's
train.
a long 30 minutes.
And then you got to change again, and you got luggage. It's just the shittest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they're like, wait another 30 minutes. You're like, I just want to go home and shower. Please, I want to go home.
Yeah. See, bringing it back to the flight, my biggest problem wasn't I slept great. I don't know about you guys.
I did sleep. Not great, but I slept.
I slept great. I actually had no jet lag after I got back.
Me
so.
too. How about you, Jerry?
I struggled for like 2 days.
No.
Because I didn't sleep on the flight.
No,
Like at all. So I only just
So-
fixed it this morning.
My biggest issue was, live flat seats, fucking amazing and a lifesaver, and pretty much the reason you get business class at the end of the day.
Yeah, 'cause you want to sleep.
Especially if you need to work especially if you need to work the day you land. Which
We're there
we
for 3
did.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we're ready to
Yeah.
go.
Absolutely.
My biggest problem is, it's issue you have to deal with in economy, which is if you get the window seats and you want to go piss. Now, normally, when you pay the exorbitant price for business class seats, normally you are in your own little corner. If you are at the
There's
window
like a
seats.
middle,
There's like a
two middle seats
Yeah.
and 2 side seats. It's like the preferred layout.
You do not have to disturb anyone when you're going to take a piss.
Yeah.
Not on Swiss Airline, where if you have the window seats, you are basically boxed in, and your neighbor, if they are sleeping, you basically just have to dance over them. It's a big step. So on the flight to Switzerland, I was sitting next to Connor, and I was getting some sleep. Obviously, Connor's used to having other business class flights where he doesn't have to disturb someone. So he decides to drink the entire tea in all of Switzerland. I think he drank the entire Swiss water reserve in that one flight.
I think he legitimately had maybe 4.
Bro, okay.
4 fucking mugs of tea.
Obviously, when we first started flying business, I felt guilty about it because it's just a lot of money. It's just you're spending so much fucking money on these stupid flights.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, mask off. Fucking I fly business every time. Let me give you the real raw review of how it is. Don't get scammed out there. The number one way to not get scammed: constantly get service. Get shit.
Yeah.
You pay for that seat. Milk it. Sometimes I get a flight from Japan to LA. All I do is sleep. I feel like I wasted it.
No,
But I know that I didn't because I slept on a flight, which is
Yeah.
already a miracle. But I
Yeah.
do feel guilty. I'm like, no food, no drinks. I'm going to bed. Don't wake me up.
Yeah, to me, sleeping is the most.
That is what you
the
pay for.
premium
That's what you
cost.
pay
That
for.
is the premium cost.
But this one, because we were leaving in the morning, our flight was what? 12?
12
or
p.m.
9?
Yeah, 12
9?
p.m.
Yeah.
No, it was like
Oh, no,
it was,
it's 11.
it was 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's a 14-hour flight. Fucking doozy of a flight.
Yeah.
And we land at like 10 p.m. So the objective was don't sleep.
No, the objective was sleep. I wanted to
That's
sleep.
the way back. The way there was
Yeah, the
don't-
way there, you'd stay awake
We
so
just
that
stay
when you
awake as
get
much
there,
possible.
because you get to the hotel
Yeah.
at like 10 p.m., you can
you
sleep
just
immediately.
sleep right away.
Oh, I slept. I slept
I
for
know
like
you
2 hours.
slept,
I
yeah.
slept.
But so this is the flight where I drank everything.
Yeah.
So this flight, we were awake 14 hours, and I knew a great way to stay awake was drink tea every available option and play Slay the Spire for 14 hours straight, which is what I did. My chair didn't recline once.
I can confirm that is
I
what
was
he did.
just doing Slay the Spire for 14 hours straight, staring at it, watching shitty movies.
Yeah, you were second
Yeah.
monitoring the Garfield movie. I remember that.
Dude, I watched nearly every single new release they had on the plane on the way there and back. And I
Yeah.
have a review. We'll go through it in a little bit.
Okay.
But I Slay the Spire, fucking raw dog. No, it was raw dog. But I was just locked into Slay the Spire.
Yeah.
And every single time that I was done with the tea, the moment someone came past, I was like, can we get another one? And then I could tell they were getting annoyed with me after about the 8th one.
Yeah, every time I looked over at you, there was just like another fresh batch of tea. I'm like, this is the most fucking British ass moment I've ever seen in my life.
But this was bad because Garn, bless his heart, was trying to rest, and now I'm on like a pee every 90 minutes situation because
Yeah.
I'm drinking so much tea that I literally am just full of piss every 90 minutes, and I have to go. And I'm trying to tell Garn like, hey, Tamana, I'll just like crawl over you, but he's like, no, tight. And he gets up and I'm like, I feel bad, but yeah.
No, because
funny.
I remember when I slept, every time I woke up, it was more tea being brought. I would
The jingling of the porcelain.
did I dream this, or did they just give you the entire fucking the entire mug?
It was,
They just- they
gave
kept-
an entire teapot.
No,
Oh, yeah,
they gave me an entire teapot at one point. They just left the milk at my table because they have like the milk jar.
Yeah.
Because they ask you if you want cream or milk. Obviously, I want milk because I
Yeah.
prefer just a more natural fucking drink. Why the fuck not? So I just, after a while, I asked, I was like, can you just keep refilling this? Just leave the milk here because there's a lot in here. And I'm not going to go through all of it. Just leave me the milk. I am going to keep asking you for tea. Just keep refilling and giving me a new tea bag. So that's what they did. And the best part, they would give me a little Swiss chocolate every single time. So not only am I drinking, I think I drank around 10 or 12 cups of tea.
That's crazy.
And I had about 10 chocolates. Like little, Swiss chocolates.
I mean, yeah, they were good.
They were
good.
fire. They
Yeah.
were fire.
Yeah.
So I absolutely made use, and also the food was fire.
Yeah.
Food was great.
Yeah. To the credit of Swiss Air, best
Some of the
food
best
I've ever
airport-
had.
Like, yeah, some of the best
Best food
airplane
I've ever had.
When I flew United Business, I felt like they were trying to get me to eat less. How bad that shit tasted. I was like, no. Classic United Airlines.
So I was trying to do that strat that you do.
You
where
fell
just,
asleep though.
No. So on the way there, I fell asleep a little bit. On the way back, where it was like, all right, we're gonna time it out. We have 4 hours, so we'll get the food, and then the moment the food gets taken away, we'll sleep.
Yeah.
And my rule of thumb with that is, all right, what's the easiest way to fall asleep immediately on a plane? Just get drunk.
Yeah.
just
This
drink
is such a
a
lot.
lot.
idea. I think this is bad.
This is the strat my dad uses.
I think this is a bad idea.
It works.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I'll have the food and I'll just order drinks. So I ordered I had 5 gin and tonics.
Holy fuck.
Oh my god.
In fact, I had so many gin and tonics. When I
stopped
went to
serving
order
you?
the 6th one, the woman was like, you drank all the gin.
No.
It's like, we're actually out of gin on the flight.
Did you pivot to a different alcohol? Or
I
you?
did, yeah.
What did you pivot to?
I pivoted to a wine.
Okay, that's a
After
bold
that.
strat.
Your dad would be proud.
Your
Yeah.
dad would be. He would have actually been double fisting. The
Yeah,
wine
he
and
does
the gin.
double fist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
My dad's strat, whenever he's on business, he's like, the first thing I do, son, I sit down. The moment the service comes on, I order 2 gin and tonics right off the bat.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'll get drunk enough, I'll get full enough, and then I'll fall asleep. But because of the fucking beanbag chair,
Bro, the beanbag chair is the worst thing ever.
so I'm fucking
This is the
like,
most privileged section of Trash
so
Day.
I'm just like slogging through Dead Demons, like quite shit faced.
So you couldn't fall asleep after 5 gin and tonics and a couple of wines?
5 gin and tonics and 2 glasses of wine.
And you couldn't fall asleep?
And I couldn't fall
Oh
asleep.
my God.
So I'm just like lazy eyed, just like watching anime for 18 hours.
So I used to do this strat, and the main reason why I stopped is because one, I need to piss more.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I often wake up to piss and then struggle to get back to sleep.
Right.
But 2, if I do ever wake up like 2 or 3 hours in and there's like 6 or I don't know how many hours left, I often feel so shit because the alcohol's wearing off.
Right.
And now I just feel shit and I can't fall asleep and I feel awful. So not only I've almost like worked against what I was trying to do
See,
because
this is
now
the-
I'm going to land and feel even worse.
No, but see, this is the first time where, like, normally
It
I've
didn't work.
done that strat so many
Yeah.
times to America
Yeah.
and, like, whatever, to Australia.
Adapt, overcome.
And it's worked every time. Like, I would just fucking
Yeah.
knock out and then I would wake up, with the stewardess waking me up.
Yeah.
But this time around, man, it's those
Nah.
fucking seats, dude.
You
I couldn't
gotta
do it.
you gotta like drink. Here's the strat, boys. Here's the strat. You gotta drink early on into the flight. Don't drink too much, but just drink early on to get like a light buzz, right?
Yeah.
Do all your drinking like as early on in the
When
flight
the
as you
lights
can.
turn off, you got to stop.
And like when the lights turn off, you stop drinking. You watch one movie, maybe like a few episodes of something.
Yeah.
And it's the moment where the alcohol starts like wearing off is when I start getting really tired. Because anyone who's ever like day drank and then stopped, you know how fucking tired you are.
Yeah,
When
you-
when in that moment when
Right,
your body
right.
is just like, wait, I gotta process the alcohol now. It's
yeah,
just-
you
what?
get the EPs.
Yeah, you start getting the EP. So if you want to do it on a flight, don't keep drinking. Just preload your drinking, then stop, And then
Right.
1 or 2 hours in, your body's just gonna be like, Dunzo,
Fuck.
I want to sleep.
I just avoid alcohol on the flights now. I just kind of stick to.
No, that's the best way to get your value, dude.
It depends what you're drinking. Even then,
Yeah.
it's like,
G&T, dog.
yeah, but GT's not that expensive.
it can be.
I guess I don't know. Not that tea is actually any better,
Yeah,
but,
right.
but I at least want to feel like I'm getting like someone's just fucking bringing tea to me constantly. Like I think that's the best part is like the service of just constantly having people bring you shit.
Another teapot.
Yeah, like legit. And like they often have like snacks. Like also I fly ANA a lot. Dude, if you ever fly ANA business, you gotta try the ramen. The
Really?
ramen is fire. Everyone I know who's flown ANA and I convinced to try this, it's like life changing. I don't know why. It's
Really?
literally plant-based ramen. From like Ippudo. It should be filth, but it's the best fucking thing ever. And I'll be like, I don't want the breakfast. Give me 2 bowls of this. It's so fire.
Give me pure salt, dog.
It's that good that I would consider just flying them over like another airline because it's that fire.
Oh, really?
It hits the spot so fucking good. I can't describe how good it is.
All right.
If you get the joy of flying ANA and you get business, do it. It's so fucking worth it.
Bet.
It was nice. And you know what? When we got our food in Swiss Airlines, I was like, this is how it always should be. You literally get the starter and they just bring out a plate full of cheese.
That was the best.
I was like,
that was the
yes.
best part.
Every meal should start with a plate full of cheese.
100%.
And it was good cheese.
It was fucking good.
I've had cheeses on fucking United again. It's always
God.
United. It's the cheese in there is like depressing as shit. You get like 1 block of like cheddar or some shit like that.
The worst blue cheese ever. Look, I'm not a big cheese guy. I like cheese a lot.
That's
But
not
I'm a big cheese guy, but I'm not like a bougie cheese guy.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
don't need it to be like this is from fucking. I just need it to be like good cheese that was
Good enough.
Yeah.
made by a person and not by some kind of machine or
Right,
something.
yeah.
And it was just felt fucking good. It
was so
fucking good. And the bread.
The bread, I was going to
Bread was
say.
so good.
Yeah, the bread and cheese combo. Mwah.
If Swiss Airlines just make the seats better,
Yeah.
I'd fly it every fucking time. I would
Yeah.
just go to Switzerland. It was so fire. The chocolate was so good as well. Oh my god!
Have you had the chocolates that we bought yet?
Yes, they're very,
I
very
still
good.
haven't.
They're very good.
I had 1 piece and I was like, I need to stop. This is dangerous. This
Yeah.
could disappear in a night.
Oh my god, they're so fucking good.
They're
Yeah.
so good.
So
But that's
that's
So
our review of
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
You did good, Switzerland.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Would like to talk about what we did more, but I guess you're going to find that out.
In however many months
Yeah.
later.
Oh wait, I watched so many films on the plane.
Okay.
I you know what's weird? I've kind of weaned off watching things on my phone on the planes. I don't know why.
You watch things on your phone?
Well, I
You
used to watch things on my phone.
Oh,
Yeah, I did
ew.
as well. I mean, I did.
Ew.
And now I kind of just opt for.
Yeah, when I saw you bring the iPad on, I was like, shit, I
Bro,
should have done
God's
that.
iPad setup is like some kind of like scaffolding system.
Yeah, dude, he had like a full like monitor
Brother.
setup.
He brings a genuine scaffolding onto the plane to hoist his iPad in front of him.
Bro,
it's
what?
crazy.
Bro, this is living in 2035, brother.
God puts on the high vis vest and the hard hat when he starts setting up the iPad system. It's crazy.
Look, I want to watch what I want to watch when I'm on a plane, you know. Or my iPad literally has like all of the
I agree.
and anime and films that I might want to watch when I'm traveling. So
Yeah.
I have like this travel bag with all like everything with like the setup, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever I can like hang my iPad up. I can just you know just prop it up if I want. It is perfect. I never need to use the in-flight entertainment system at all.
I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I just like watching shit that I would never normally watch.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like about the in-flight movies is that I get around to watching movies that maybe I'm like, I kind of was interested in that. Or shit that I would just never fucking watch ever.
Okay, well, then let's kick it off. I want to know personally, because this is the only one I saw you like second monitor watching, the Garfield movie. What the fuck was that about?
What a fucking weird movie.
I couldn't hear it. I just saw it every now
Yeah.
and then. I'm like, what is this movie?
It was kind of shit.
Is that
But
the one with
looks
Chris
shit.
Pratt?
yeah, Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson's
who plays
in it?
his father.
What?
Yeah, I don't know
my
why he's not
God.
on any of the posters, but he plays like a prominent character in it.
Huh.
It's
Snoop Dogg's in it?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg's in it too. Like barely. He's actually not in it that much.
Ving Rhames? What is this like?
Yeah,
what
it
is
was
this
just kind of a star-studded cast.
Yeah, what is this cast, dude?
I thought it was like I put here 6 out of 10.
Wow, that's higher
Wow.
than the IMDb rating.
Well, that's 5.7 rounding up.
Okay.
It's like
Rotten Tomatoes 37.
it's like fine. It was better than I guess I gave it 6 out of 10 because it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Which is not saying much because I thought it was going to be really shit.
I mean, it looks really shit.
I could easily move on, and I wouldn't have watched this, but I was literally running out of movies to watch. I'd kind of watched every movie that looked good,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
I was now struggling, and I was like, okay, I'll just watch the fucking animated movies now.
Right,
Because I'd
right.
already watched Transformer 1 on another flight, and that was also meh, but kind of fun.
I thought that was good.
What do you want from me, Darren?
All right, what was the best movie you
Okay.
watched?
It was the first one I watched. I watched a movie called Conclave.
Okay.
That was
Conclave?
fun. That was Ralph Fiennes. It was about the current pope had died, and they were trying to figure out who the new pope was going to be. And it was very political, very fun. I just love Ralph Fiennes. Generally, anything he's in, I've enjoyed.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I gave it like 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I
Wow,
thought it
really
was-
good scores, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great movie. I watched Juror Number 2, which I did not enjoy. It was a Clint Eastwood film, and it's about a juror who they were trying to decide if they obviously should acquit or charge the guy with the crime.
Is this a sequel to Dura Number 1? Or?
No. But it turns out
Oh, I see. Okay.
the entire movie, he was the one who had committed the crime, the juror number 2, which you know this at the start of the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking like it, but I guess people liked it a lot.
Yeah, another
I
good.
gave it like 5 out of 10. I thought it was kind of lame. I didn't.
You rated the Garfield movie above this?
Yeah, I honestly really didn't fuck with this one.
Damn.
Honestly, yeah, the Garfield being higher than this is unjust, but that was just it was higher than my expectations.
Yeah, right,
Right.
I did not really like Juror Number 2, I'll be real with you. I thought it was kind of weird.
Okay.
Not weird. I thought a lot of the acting I didn't fuck with in this. I watched a movie called Lee. Yeah, which I gave 7.5 out of 10. It was about a World War II photographer for
Lee.
yeah, just LEE movie. This one.
Lee.
Yeah, I gave like 7.5. I was like, all right, it's
Okay.
good.
Okay.
She like is a photographer in World War II. It was kind of fun. It was the only weird part of this movie was Andy Samberg was playing like a very serious role, and it was very weird to see Andy Samberg play a serious role. Although I recognize he's a great actor. I watched a movie called Goodrich. That was like whatever, 5 out of 10. There was fucking Michael Keaton.
Were all these
learning-
movies you watched just like mid? Or
Yeah, mostly mid.
Yeah, I realized sitting next to Connor, he would just put something on.
Yeah.
I can never do that.
yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I watched The Fall Guy. That was kind of fun. I give that like a 7 out of 10 movie. It was kind of fun. Ryan Gosling is good in it.
Yeah.
Oh, the one with Jacksepticeye in it.
Oh, he's in it.
Apparently, that's what I heard. He's like got a cameo in it, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of cameos in this.
Yeah,
if
there's
I
like a
remember
bunch of like
correctly.
YouTubers who cameo in this.
Oh shit! No, wait. Are you thinking about another film? There's a different film. That's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, probably.
Oh,
This is different. This
is different.
What's Ryan Reynolds one called?
It's fuck, I forgot what it's called. It's a different movie. Different movie though.
oh, is it?
okay.
I watched the
Ryan
Wild,
Gosling, Ryan Reynolds.
I watched
Same thing.
I watched The Wild Robot.
The Wild Robot.
I did not like it. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
That's the
Oh, okay, yes, I've
that's
seen.
the highly acclaimed.
Wow, people fucking like this. I thought this was fucking snooze fest.
the DreamWorks one.
It's crazy how my opinion is so different to almost everything
To
they say.
you, it was just another airplane movie. To them, it was a masterpiece.
Masterpiece.
I thought this was kind of boring. I don't know
What's
if it's
it about?
a robot that is in a
kinda wild.
world and then it wakes up 100 odd years later and finds a fox that it becomes a partner with, and then it raises like a bird, and then it's I just didn't like it.
See, this is exactly why Netflix have pivoted to second monitor.
Yeah.
To second monitor content.
I didn't.
Because people like him, right? It's just-
What do you mean? I thought it was mid.
Don't tell me you watched this. You
No,
were
no,
playing
it's-
Slay the Spire.
I was playing Slay the Spire and I'd look up. Whenever it was interesting, I would stop playing Slay the Spire. I did not stop playing
You
once.
didn't
You
watch
didn't
the
watch it.
movie.
If it was interesting, I would have stopped playing.
You had it playing. Yeah, it was noise playing in the
Look,
background.
I'm giving you a realistic review of how most people are going to experience these movies.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh my
Our
God.
species is ruined, dude.
I watched Trap by M. Night Shyamalan. I watched 2 M. Night Shyamalan films. He released 2 movies in 1 year. I watched both of
Were
them.
any of them good?
No, this one was really fucking funny. This one was it was a movie where they basically put on a whole concert to try and find a serial killer, and it turns out the serial killer is the main guy we're following.
Oh, I did see the trailer for this. Yes, this looked really dumb.
I felt like it was aimed at a 25-year-old white girl who was into true crime. That's what it felt like. Like when I was watching this.
Isn't that most M. Night Shyamalan movies
Yeah,
nowadays?
but I felt like it wasn't aimed at me. Like when watching this film, I was like, yeah. I thought it was fun. And to be fair, the main actor was quite good and I felt like he did a good job.
I think Sydney liked this one.
This is a Sydney. The whole time watching this film, I'm like, this is like fucking porn for Sydney. And okay, I credit my credits due. The main guy, Josh Arnett, I thought he was really good in it.
Yeah.
Every other actor in this film was horrible.
Really?
Horrible. I really didn't like what any of the other actors in this movie.
Who else is in this movie? Kid Cudi's in this movie?
Oh, yeah.
The fuck?
I gave it a 5 out of 10. I actually, you know what? I had a lot of fun watching it because Josh Arnett was really fun.
Yeah.
But every time another actor came on screen, you're reminded that like it's acting. You're like, yeah, no, this is shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Was there any film that you did enjoy?
Yeah, Conclave. Conclave was the only
Conclave.
film that I actually like 5 minutes in, I put down my Steam Deck and watched the full thing.
What was the other M. Night Shyamalan movie you watched?
The Watchers. This was the worst fucking film ever.
The Watchers?
Yeah, this film was so dog. I gave this like 2 out of 10. Yeah, this is awful.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
This was
33.
bad. This was really ass.
What the fuck is this?
Did they all have twists?
Yeah,
mean,
they all
it's an
did.
M. Night
Yeah,
Shyamalan.
they all
I
had
was
twists.
just checking
They all had
if he still
Trap
does.
was way better than this. So I like after watching this, then watching Trap, it felt like, oh yeah, he can direct a film, kind of.
Dakota Fanning? Oh.
Yeah, she was. I hated her in this.
God damn.
Yeah, no. Wait, what's Wolves? What's the fuck is that? What are they? Oh yeah, what's Wolves? This is another film I watched with Brad Pitt and George Clooney. I feel like they just make films together just for lols. They're just like, yeah, fuck it.
Probably. They're at that point in their career where they're just
Yeah, I
like,
give this one 5 out of 10. I was like, yeah, it's fun. It was fine.
Action comedy film.
It's literally just Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Like they just instead of doing what the normal a white male thing to do is, like make a podcast, they just make these kind of films where they're like such whatever films that just get thrown onto Apple TV or some shit.
Right.
well, that's the white male Hollywood.
Yeah,
thing
this
to
is what they
now.
do. Yeah, this is what they do. This is the Adam Sandler strat.
Yeah, this is their version of a podcast. If you have connections and a budget.
Yeah. So overall, a lot of mid films. I can't believe The Wild Robot is rated that highly. I thought that film was so boring. But then I guess I don't know. I felt like it. I don't know. Maybe I'm too pessimistic.
Yeah.
It's like night and day difference.
This is one where me and the critics can't agree. And
What's the user rating? Go to Rotten Tomatoes.
8.2.
No. That's IMDb. What's the Rotten Tomatoes?
98.
97. I'm in the minority.
97
I did
and
not fuck with this movie.
You are the 2%.
And look, you can maybe say it's because I was watching. I'm playing Slay the Spire. Look, and that's fair. And like, if you don't want to take my review on this, I think it's totally fine. I don't get up in arms. People are like, how could he not like this? Look, I just didn't fuck with it mainly because it didn't catch my attention. That's it.
We're cooked.
How are we cooked?
Netflix were right. Netflix were right.
Bro, I was watching films, and if anyone was good and caught my attention, I would put it down. And Conclave with Ralph Fiennes doing his fucking S-tier acting, I was locked in. He's so good.
You were just half of Ralph.
Bro, Ralph Fiennes is so good though. Have you watched a movie with Ralph Fiennes where he sucks?
Which is valid, first of all.
Tell me
But
one movie where Ralph Fiennes sucks.
there is none. But
There is
I like
none.
Ralph Fiennes too. Don't get me wrong. But like, I again, like we discussed this in a previous podcast. I don't know how you can second monitor movies.
What do you mean?
Or this whole concept of like, yeah, I'm just gonna put a fucking random mid movie on in the background. Like I can't do that.
Well, sometimes you got to have a mid movie to
I wanna watch
appreciate what you got.
If I want to watch a movie, I'm gonna watch a movie
Yeah,
that I want to watch.
actually, I just if there's a airplane movies, I still watch the airplane movie.
Yeah. Do you second monitor them? Yeah, right.
It
That's
depends
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
doing. Sometimes I second monitor, sometimes I don't. It really
Yeah.
just depends what I'm trying to do.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
for that flight specifically, I was trying to stay awake.
Yeah.
And there is no quicker way to fall asleep than watching a movie you are not into.
See,
So I had to have Slay the
this
Spire.
is
that
why
helped.
I watch on my iPad because I know I'm going to be invested in the things that I'm watching
Yeah.
because I specifically want to watch them. Because my to watch list is just unending
Yeah.
and I will never run out of things that I want to
for
watch.
movies, I really like watching mid movies. So again, so I can kind of get a range, like a feeling of like why a movie sucks, why a movie's good.
Yeah, I get
And that
that.
helps me kind of
Except in this instance.
Well, I mean, no, look, like I'm not interested in having my opinions line up with critics or what other general public feels. So for me, I'm like, why didn't I connect with it? Why didn't I fuck with it? Why did it not capture my attention?
See, I've watched enough mid movies and enough good movies to know the type of movie I fuck with. It's not always about whether something's critically acclaimed. Sometimes there's just the vibe, or sometimes you just.
But also sometimes there'll be a movie where I'm convinced I'm gonna fuck with it. Like Killers of the Flower Moon, I was like, on paper is everything I would fuck with. And I just didn't like it when I watched it. I was like, this is too long. That's my main criticism. It's too fucking long. I felt like he was taking the piss out of my attention. And it was just a shame. Like I felt like I was like, I guess
something about it was off. Right?
Yeah, but I think that's important not to only go and be like, I'm only gonna watch things that I think I'll fuck with. Like I think sometimes it's helpful to
I'm not saying that.
watch stuff that you normally wouldn't watch to kind of gain like perspective, or even to try a genre that you don't normally watch.
I'm
not criticizing.
I totally agree with that.
I fucking watched this movie and it was like an artsy film that I would never fucking watch. But I was like, you know what, I'll watch it just so I can like give it a chance and see maybe if after a couple of years I fuck with it. I do not fuck with it.
What is it?
I can't remember. I showed you it on the fucking airplane. I can't remember what it was called. It's about this girl who goes camping with her dad and dad's friend. And it was just so many shots of nothing. And like where they like hold on something and just linger.
Yeah.
And it had like so many critical awards. And I was like, man, I just don't fuck with
the
it.
artsy fartsy.
Yeah, and I wasn't doing anything else. I was literally just watching it. And then there was a scene where like the uncle's like, hey, like what if I like, come in your tent with you to the daughter? And I was like, this feels like an artsy thing. The conflict finally arrives. I was just kind of like, I don't fuck with this.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I had that experience recently. I didn't watch it on the plane, but I rewatched this recently. I rewatched Lost in Translation.
I watched that too not too long ago.
How did you find it after living in Japan for a while?
I don't really fuck with the movie that much. I know Chris really likes it, and Chris always talks to me about how much he likes it, but I didn't really like it.
I hated this movie when I first watched it. I thought it was boring as fuck. Rewatched it about a week ago. Holy shit, I love this movie. Really? I fuck with this movie so much now.
Really?
Yeah. And just, it's the vibe. I don't know. There's nothing else in the movie because there is basically just like minimal conflict in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's just the vibe of this movie. There's this there's this one scene. The one scene where I'm like, I think I fucking love this movie is when Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson are up at like it's after like their like night-long bender. Have you watched it before?
I have.
Okay, so it's a scene after they go out for karaoke and stuff like that. And they're just like laying in bed, just talking about life. Like, shit, does it get any better? And I'm just like, holy shit, this just brings me back to my favorite part of like every night, which is like when you truly bond with the boys. It's like 3 a.m. and you're just like talking like about like the stupidest. It's either the stupidest or the deepest shit you can ever imagine, and that's when you can feel like that connection. And this movie just captured that perfectly. And I'm like, holy shit, this is it, man. This is the vibe.
I think I can't even count on both hands the amount of times I've had the exact same situation going out drinking with God.
Yeah. This is like
if you got drinking with God past like 2 a.m., it's like it always ends up like this.
I'm like, I fucking live for those moments, man.
I wish I vibed with it. I guess I watched it like a year living in Japan. So maybe if I watch it again like a year or two, maybe I'll see it differently.
Also, it's like insane to me, like looking at this now, how similar Japan looks, or how much it hasn't changed. It's still like some of the shots in this still look. When was it come out? 2003. So it's over 20 years old, and man, I can tell why people thought Japan was the city of the future, or like Tokyo was the city of the future, where in this kind of time period, because seeing Japan through this lens, early 2000s, it must have looked like fucking incredible.
Like a utopia.
Like it must have looked like a utopia. And now we're still getting TikToks being like, Japan is living in the future, and damn, it has not changed since 2003. Holy shit, it still looks the same. It still feels the same, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was like maybe a little too young to appreciate this movie.
I think I was
when
definitely
first
too
watched
young
it.
as well.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
when I get older, I'll fuck with it and the message. But
Yeah.
that happens sometimes, right? Just because I don't like a film now doesn't mean I won't fuck with it in future.
Yeah.
I think people get too up in arms about what you like and don't like.
Yeah, I love the kind of like I don't know what the message was, but just the feeling of like having a deep connection with someone without necessarily having like romantic feelings. It was just kind of like connecting with someone on just that deeper level. Because I remember watching this when I was younger, and I'm like, when are they gonna fuck? When are they gonna fuck? When are they gonna kiss? when are they gonna pull the trigger?
When is the good stuff happening?
When I thought this was a romance movie. But obviously, you know, the whole point of it, I think, was that it was like a deeper. They had like a deeper connection,
A human connection.
that went beyond like the typical Hollywood romances that you see. Which, looking back, is a way better thing considering the age gap in this or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, I really, really fucking like this movie.
Yeah, I feel like I need to give this movie another watch.
I think you'd appreciate this
Because
a lot
I think
more.
I watched this maybe when I was like, I don't know, 12, 13 years old.
Oh, yeah, no
Yeah.
way. No way.
Yeah.
Absolutely no way.
My only memories of the movie, like I don't even remember anything about the movie. The only memories I have about watching this movie is like just watching the scenes of like them going through the city and just being like, oh, that's Ueno. Oh, that's Shinjuku.
I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I've been there before.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time rewatching this, I'm like, oh,
I know that place.
Oh, that place.
Yeah.
It's the spot.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't old enough to appreciate this.
Yeah.
I'll definitely give this another go.
Yeah,
For sure.
enough. I really fucking like this. How was Dead Demons Destructions?
So good. So fucking good. It was like, I was so scared because, it's the first Asano Inio manga to ever be animated.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had like live actions before of some of his manga, but like the first time ever as an anime.
Yeah.
And I was really sad that I didn't get to see it in the cinemas. Because I actually got like tickets to go see it and I just didn't have the time to go watch it. But then they were like, we re-released it on Netflix as an 18-episode anime. I was like, oh, fuck, okay. So I watched it and yeah, it was
Peak.
everything I hoped it would be. It's fucking,
Damn.
what a batshit insane story.
It is.
Did you like it?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm ready to
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah, you should definitely watch it.
I mean, I would definitely say the first half kind of like took me off guard because it was very reminiscent to a slice of life.
Yes.
Right? Because a lot of the shit happens in the second half
Yeah.
of the story.
But that's a
slow
very
burn.
Asano Inio thing to do. He like builds up. He gives you enough time to get to know the characters and like how they interact and stuff, and then they throw in the batshit insane storyline in it. So then, when all the insane stuff does happen, because you understand the characters, you're like, oh, okay. Well, obviously, she is going to do this in this situation, and it makes the story make so much more sense.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like too outlandish, even though there's a lot of fucking outlandish behavior in this episode, in this series.
Also, when did the manga come out?
When did the manga come out? I think it was mid 2010s, I believe.
Mid 2010s. Watching some of the scenes in this, I was like,
2014.
2014, I was like, goddamn, this is way too reminiscent of real life right now. Because essentially what this is about is there's this alien invasion, right, that happens. And it kind of is like the end of the world, but not really. Nobody really knows what's happening. And because of that uncertainty behind not knowing what this massive fucking spaceship floating in the air is, the world just goes to shit. People start spreading conspiracy theories.
Of course, naturally.
Like the society becomes
Like people,
segmented.
like people start to like untrust like the government more, and they start questioning like military and like
Sounds
celebrities.
familiar.
Yeah, it's a really like real depiction of what would probably happen in a similar situation.
Well, I can definitely say if this happened, I think this is a very realistic depiction
Very
of
much
how
so.
it would go down.
Yeah.
Especially with some of this, like, especially they use social media and conspiracy theories very, very well, and just the
Okay.
idea of spreading misinformation
Yeah.
and how misinformation is so easily permeated into a society when we are just deep into panic. I was like,
Interesting.
fuck. This is
Too real?
getting a little too real right now.
No,
Yeah. Definitely not as depressing as Oyasumi Pumpun or his other works, though. So
Yeah.
if you don't, fuck with the depressing side of
I gotta
Amy
finish
Asano, this one's probably
Pumpun.
worth reading more or watching.
Did you read the original manga of this at all?
I did, yeah.
Who was the president in the original manga?
The president in the original manga, the president in the original manga was also like the one that looks like Trump.
Okay.
What?
Okay. I was like,
Yeah, the American. Yeah, I'm glad they kept it in the anime actually, because there's a character in Dead Demons where like the American president shows up and it's just Trump.
What?
But they don't name him Trump. They name him
Yeah.
something
Let me
else.
click
Yeah.
images.
Yeah, go to images. See?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's Trump.
Padron, yeah, Padron.
Yeah, that's Trump, bro.
Yeah, it's just straight up Trump. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It's
Fair
just,
enough.
Yeah.
So what's the watch or
Definitely.
All right, fair
Definitely.
enough.
And it's only 18 episodes, so it's good.
only 8?
Only 18. Not even a 2-core, bro.
In unrelated news, uh,
Oh no.
I've lost my wife recently.
What?
I've lost my wife
What?
to a mobile game.
Oh no.
Because I have to blame Emily for this, but she got
God.
Sydney on
The Guna game.
on
The Guna
Love and
game.
Deep Space.
Bro, this game
And-
is absolute goon.
I know.
This game is
I
peak goon.
I know.
People like to make out that guys are gooners. Bro, the power of a woman gooner is off the charts.
They cannot be stopped. They cannot be stopped.
So why have you lost Sydney? Explain what's happened.
So this is a gacha game, as you can probably tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you can probably tell from the screenshots, it is very much targeted towards the female demographic.
Okay.
And this recently made waves on Twitter. Which I already knew about because Sydney was telling me about that. But it made waves because it has a built-in period tracker. So
That's crazy.
Wait.
So it like asks you, hey, when's your period?
yes,
And then it will start tracking.
and it will track your period for you. And then when your period comes, the guy's like, yo, he takes care of
unique
you.
dialogue.
Yeah, there's less specific dialogue to remember to
People
take
do
care
like
of yourself.
period manipulation where they change their period with like clock and shit, like Pokemon.
Speedrunning strat.
Yeah, that's
Period manip.
the speedrunning strat, right?
Oh, guys, I kept coming early.
Yeah, but the most I will say that I have to give credit because they have definitely hit that target demographic well, and the fact that this is blowing up so much, I remember there's normally like monthly gacha revenues about how well every gacha game is doing.
Yeah.
And this game came out of nowhere, right?
Right.
Because for the longest time, it was like Hoyoverse, Nikkei or something. And then out of nowhere, this game comes out, which just shows how much girls have not been feasting. Because holy shit, is Sydney addicted to this game. Can you show the latest update, actually? There's one update where for the longest time girls are like this okay, this is a Guna game, but it's not that Guna, okay? It's wholesome. It's wholesome as well.
yeah.
Is it
Sure.
the 3.0 update?
3.0.
Maybe
Yeah, what are you looking for specifically? You might need to Google this.
okay, maybe so. I saw the clip on Twitter and I saw that Sydney had pulled for this one exactly.
Oh, it's
but
like a new banner or something?
yeah, it's like the latest banner.
So what, like you pull for a character and they...
Okay,
like-
so I think this is actually genius because Sydney was telling me about this. But so you have what you would traditionally have in a gacha game, which is you pull for characters and you use that character during gameplay, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you get stronger characters.
Or like different skins and stuff, right?
In Love and Deep Space, from what I understand from what Sydney has told me, is that you already get the characters.
Okay.
But what you can pull for, what comes with the gacha, is the date scenes with the guys. It's the date scenes with
the
the guys.
fireworks vow.
Yes. And I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking
So they're
genius.
paying for CG scenes.
Zane Medical Rescue.
Yes.
Oh, hold
Drunken
on. Say
intimacy.
Drunken
Yes.
intimacy. Tipsy invitations.
Tender night. Okay.
Okay. Go down.
And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking genius.
That is pretty genius.
You're not even like pretending that you're pulling for the gameplay anymore. You know you want to go into this game. You know you want to be treated right.
Does he like faint if
Faint sensation.
does he like faint and he's like, oh my god, you gotta take
No,
care
the
of-"
sensation is so strong that you faint.
I don't know. Okay, scroll down. Oh my god, exclusive tutorial with Zane. This is genius.
Midnight whispers, dude. You get like ASMR in this shit.
Yeah,
This is genius.
oh my god, you get like ASMR
Yeah, I
lines.
did an ad for this.
You did an ad for it?
Yeah, I did an ad for this.
What were you promoting? Which banner were you promoting?
I think it was
you remember
the
which one?
main release of the game. So I think it's relatively new, right? I did it a couple of months ago, maybe a year ago.
Must be.
Actually, it might have been a year ago. I remember I had to film a skit. They like requested I film a skit where I had to like.
It came out in January.
Yeah,
last year.
I had to do. They wanted me to film a skit for it. And I was like, oh fuck, I don't normally do skits. But it was
Keep
interesting.
going down. I want to see the names of these.
I'm trying to find the newest.
No defense zone. That's spicy. God damn.
So like, you get this right.
Yeah.
Like so unlike a character, right, where a character you would use, you'd rank up. When you get like this scenario, do you like level up from it, or like what do you get from this, or you just keep replaying it?
From what I understand, you can live. There is gameplay to this.
There is? Okay.
From what I understand,
Okay.
there is gameplay where you have to like build a squad and all that kind of jazz. But
Alright.
the real meat and potatoes
the
is the
scenes.
dates
Okay, got
and
it.
the
Alright,
scenes that you are pulling for
Genius.
and
Wait,
capturing for.
So what does Sydney do then? Like she just sits there and like watches this all day or something?
I will be in bed and she will get a fucking phone call from.
What? She's getting a phone call from another man while in bed with you?
Do you know what's worrying? Both Sydney and Emily have separate phones just for this game. How can
What?
How can men compete with?
Wait, what? Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because it's a lot of data and it's a lot of memory, and they're like, but we need our men. We need our men.
so does
As a
Sydney-
man,
Yeah.
it's just, we just can't compete.
So what
Yeah.
you're saying is like Sydney would just be lying in bed and being like, "Hold on, babe, I'm getting a call from Silas.
I would just hear
He's in
whispers.
the no defense zone right now."
Yeah, but it makes me think, right? It made me think because
my God.
made me think about like modern anime as well. Because
Yeah.
I have a theory, right? Because
Go on.
for an anime to get like super mega popular, I think the girls need to feast as well.
Oh, 100%.
Like if it only appeals to the
Agree,
male
yeah.
demographic, guys can only go so far. A lot of people were wondering why, for example, Jujutsu Kaisen got so much more popular than Chainsaw Man. And I think the Jujutsu Kaisen daughters just have that much more power.
They do.
Man, like
The Chainsaw Man sons can't compete.
no, they can't.
They can't compete.
Right? Because with Chainsaw Man, who have the girls got? They have like Aki, maybe. They don't really have a lot,
Aki.
right?
Yeah,
Like, it's
that's about it.
yeah. You bring one fucking Gojo, and Jujutsu Kaisen is like a worldwide sensation.
Not Gojo, Nanami.
Nanami.
It's
Gojo, Nanami, and
Nanami.
Gojo and Geto as well at the same time. Holy shit.
No, yeah, I think for it to be mainstream, right, you need both waifus and husbandos,
Yeah, 'cause
for lack of a better term.
Well, I mean, if you look at like just recently, like some of the most like the anime that you see everywhere, just in like shopping malls or wherever, it doesn't even need to be in like Akihabara or anything. It's always like, oh, okay, let's see what they are. Blue Lock, Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah,
What else is there?
that just shows that a target at women.
Haikyuu.
Yeah. Like Haikyuu. I
It's all
feel
the ones with the fucking dedicated female fan base.
I feel like a sports anime, it's impossible to get popular unless you get the
Free.
female fans, right?
Yeah.
Like fuck, the Prince of Tennis like started this all.
Yeah.
Like as much as I fucking love Hajime no Ippo, it is not
It's not for the
aesthetically
ladies. It's
appealing
not for the ladies.
as something like Prince of Tennis.
You know what's insane about Prince of Tennis that I found out recently? Apparently, Shonen Jump, even after all these years, still do this like system where fans of Prince of Tennis can send Valentine's Day chocolates to Prince of Tennis characters, and they ship the chocolates to
God.
the Shonen Jump headquarters.
Oh my God.
And they tally it up every
my
year to
God.
see like which character
They must
had the
love
most
that.
amount of
They're gonna
chocolates.
be, like, fucking
And it's
feasting on
and it's not
chocolates.
like 10 or 20 chocolates. We're talking like in the range of like tens of thousands of chocolates get sent to these fucking Prince and Tennis characters.
Okay.
And I'm just like, what?
Okay.
Look at
go,
all-
go.
I mean, like, yeah. Obviously, as a guy as well, we take it for granted how much free Gooner material we get. We're way too acquainted with gooning.
Yeah, look, 2012, right? Keigo Atobe got 9,500 chocolates sent to him.
Oh my
Just
god.
that character.
Is it the main character?
No.
Who is he? Who's this guy?
Atobe?
Who is he? What's his deal?
He's
never
that
mind.
guy.
Never mind. Okay, never
He's
mind.
that guy.
I do like him as well. He's a popular character.
I just took one look at him. I'm like, yeah, he's the guy. He is the guy who gets
He
all
is
the
the guy.
chocolates.
Yeah. Yeah, like
It's always Atobe or Tezuka. They're like the top two.
yeah, guys just have so much. Like give
We're
a guy.
spoiled.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Give a guy a fucking Makima. And we will goon for a day. Give a girl one fucking nanami, and she will become a gooner for life.
Well,
For
that's the thing, right? I think that's what
you know-
scares guys is that
Yeah.
when a woman goons, it's so intense. The intensity upon which they goon is beyond comprehension
just
to a lot of
once.
normal
It's
guys.
because our investment ends when the session ends.
Those 5 seconds after I nut are a very 5 sobering seconds before I turn off what I'm looking
Yeah.
at. That's a really powerful 5 seconds.
Meanwhile-
kind of brings me back down to reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a girl, she'll fucking nut, write 5 fan fictions and make 20 fan cams, and then be ready to go again. You know what I mean? We actually can't compete,
We're
man.
limited by our biology.
Yeah.
We're nerfed by
Girls
biology.
preload the goon.
They're born
preload
to
for the
goon.
next
They're born to goon.
Yeah.
We're merely visitors of the goon. We don't live in that headspace, God. These girls, they control it. It's like their domain expansion, and we're renting.
We are literally the amateurs compared to them.
We are amateurs,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
It's like whenever I see that, I mentioned it to you guys. I see those Twitter posts, and it's like girls who love reading. Except they don't read books; they just read porn.
Yeah.
It's like every single book, and this like one image that I found. It was like someone had like circled, like there was like a bookshelf filled with like 100 odd books.
Yeah.
And it was like 90 of them were porn.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is ridiculous. Reading your porn?
Yeah.
Verbally? Impressive.
Yes.
I can't compete with that level of goon. I just can't.
It's crazy.
To all the girls out there, just for the record, we are not shaming you at all.
No,
we are
I'm
actually
impressed.
just
I'm
impressed.
We are just impressed.
Yeah.
And scared. Impressed.
Teach us your power, please.
Yeah.
What is it that drives women to goon so much more strongly compared to guys? Let us know down below.
Yeah. Mail in with your 200 Dakimakura. Please let us know as well.
Yeah, we need to know. When does
Yeah.
it end?
Yeah, I guess there's like an intensity about it.
It is,
That
it
kind of
is.
scares us.
Yeah.
But let us know down below, I guess. Thanks for watching Trash Taste.
Hey, look at all these gooners. They goon over us on
Yes.
Trash Taste
What?
because they
No,
follow us
no.
and support us on the Patreon. And hey, you can do the same thing by going to patreon.com/Trash Taste. In fact, you should go over there right now because every single week we have a brand new extra content that you can goon to right after this episode.
Oh, no, don't.
Dude, I'll play a clip of that.
This is like the perfect.
No!
See ya.
God! Stop!
My bad.
Relax,
You're the worst one here, Gon. Huh?
Got him.
Gon, I'm so tired of your shit. You're like a fucking dog. You just go for the first bone you see and you chase it like an animal.
No, fuck! Too early.
Get away from me, Gon!
Okay. Fuck off, Gon. Hey, chill. Relax.
What? You didn't even have a weapon!
I punched the shit out of you.
You punched me like once!
Alright,
Good.
hop on, boys. Bruh.
Oh my. Oh my god!
But hey, if you want to check that out and support the show in the process, head on over to patreon.com/Trash Taste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.